Welcome back to HPL. We're in our second match of the night. We saw Greensheep get out to a 1-0 lead, but Jab with some nice counter punches here to even up the match at 1-1.
Yeah, I really love him swapping up the Druid. The fact that Greensheep has thrown this curveball, really big indicator that he wants to drastically change his game plan in this match. We've seen him be recklessly aggressive in the past, but that's not been the case for this match.
Yeah, it's interesting to see if he's going to revert back to that. We've seen that in a lot of his earlier matches. When he fell behind or lost a game, he would just revert back to aggressive decks, so you got to look out for that. That's a possibility here in this match.
Something else that's happened too is he's been falling behind in a lot of his matches, really going to the 0-2 spot and then trying to turn things back around. He's got a win here in his first two games.
Yeah, you got to win in game one. I'm pretty sure that's the first time for him here in HPL that he's won game one, so that had to feel really good for him here in the match. And it's nice to see him come out like aggressive, but with a good deck choice for the matchup and get an early win.
So how do these players tackle this matchup now? I mean, Jab has continued to show that he wants to play mid-range strategies, and one time it's worked for Greensheep, and one time it hasn't. We're going to have to find out. Game 3 with Greensheep and Jab is getting underway.
Yeah, I just love the Q-ups by both players so far here. It's just really interesting to see. Now, Jab is going to go to a Warlock deck here. And Greensheep looks like face Paladin here.
Yeah, right back to his old strategies. He's like, you know what? I tried to mix it up. I went 50. I was batting 500 with that one. That's not good enough. I need the full Monty here. Just damage, damage, damage. That's the name of the game for Greensheep.
Yeah, and Greensheep's going to look to get on this board early and often and get aggressive. And Divine Favor can be a pretty good one against Warlock.
He actually kept Divine Favor in his opening hand. I think he thinks that Jab is playing something more like a control deck. When he sees this turn one, he is not going to be happy about that keep.
Yeah, it's a pretty good indicator that he thought that Jab was playing something like Handlock. You know what? It's a gamble, but I like it by Greensheep because if you're right, it's such a good card in the matchup. If it draws you 4 or 5 cards, it can win you the game by itself.
Yeah, we talked about how Greensheep loves these high-risk, high-reward strategies, and this is right up his alley. Excellent pickup with the Shielded Minibot. This is going to really start contesting the board. When you couple this with the fact that he's got Muster for Battle, Consecrate, and True Silver Champion afterwards, you might be seeing a winning hand here from a Greensheep.
Yeah, his hand just went from very bad to very good, or just like pretty unplayable to
a lot
more
very
playable.
Bad, yeah. I think very bad was the right choice of words from that. So going to take some damage here, but able to get control of the board very quickly on. I mean, Muster for Battle, this card is no joke when it comes to fighting these small minion battles back and forth. You want to talk about resilient minions, the fact that you have a Light's Justice to leverage your life total and clean up the small threats on the board, and at the same time you get 3 1-1s, that's not the kind of situation that Warlock deals with very well.
Yeah, and Jab's got a pretty good answer to what Greensheep's doing here in Imp Gang Boss, but Greensheep does have a Consecration, which is going to come in big this game. He's going to be able to put a couple damage on a few damage on this Imp Gang boss and really clean up with this this Consecration this turn. He's even going to make the Spider spawn his little minions here, and yeah, this is just a great turn from Greensheep.
Yeah, but gonna keep 2 1-1s on the board as well, and then be able to follow it up with True Silver Champion and Abusive Sergeant if he wants to. Everything going Greensheep's way so far. The only thing he really has to fight against now is the fact that Jab's got Warlock hero power coming into this. I mean, this is really the big factor now is the damage that Jab's going to be dealing to himself going to compensate for the fact that Greensheep is going to be running out of cards faster than he is.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if Jab life taps and how often he's going to life tap from here when he starts to see the really aggressive element of Greensheep's deck come out, because Greensheep hasn't really unveiled the fact yet that he is a super aggressive Paladin deck. He's seen a lot of cards that are in almost every Paladin deck, a lot of ubiquitous cards.
So this is, going to make that 6/6 Blood Knight as well. Jab does not have an effective way to deal with this at the moment, even if he rolls 4 on Implosion. I mean, he does have Implosion and Abusive Sergeant. I'm sorry, he does have a way to deal with this Blood Knight, but he's got to roll at least 3 on it. So this is a very important turn here for Jab.
Yeah,
I mean, if he does not get a 3 here, this game is going to quickly get out of hand.
Oh, he gets the
full 4 minions here, and he's going to have 7 minions on his side of the board afterwards. So Greensheep, that's the last thing he wanted to see, and so now at this point, this board's been checked. It's back over to Jab's favor so far, back and forth.
Yeah, Knife Juggler, a pretty good draw here from Greensheep. Definitely one of the better ones in his deck besides his second Concentration. Now, this is going to be a big turn from Greensheep. There are going to be a lot of knives thrown. You got to believe that every one of them is going to go to a minion.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a high chance for it to happen. It's 7-1 to go
one
to
goes
face.
to face. Wow, that's a small victory for Jab there.
At this point, I mean, Greensheep might have to just start pushing for damage in this spot. I mean, he's got 4 to face. He's got 8 with the True Silver Champion. Yep, he's going to put pressure on that life total and make sure Jab can't continue to utilize it. Defender of Argus, great pickup for him.
Yeah, another great draw from Jab here. It's going to help protect against this True Silver Champion going to his face. Greensheep is starting to run out of opportunities to play really good Divine Favors here as well.
Yep. So both that Direwolf Alpha doing a lot of work here, making sure to clean up this board presence. Now, the question here is Jab going to clean up the full board, or is he going to actually push any of this damage to face? I have to believe he wants to kill this Abusive Sergeant, but does he actually kill this last 1-1? He's going to Defender of Argus up. That tells me he definitely is going to be killing it. And now look at this board position. Greensheep going to have to invest that True Silver Champion into dealing with the board instead of going to the Dome, and so it's kind of against his game plan.
Yeah, this is what we talked about going into this match. Jab, he does deal a lot of damage, but he likes to control the board. And we said that he was probably going to be the control deck in this matchup. He's going to try to control the board against Greensheep and stick minions and try to get reusable sources of damage instead of just trying to push it for as much as possible early.
Yep, Greensheep going to use the Muster for Battle here first. It looked like he wanted to add True Silver Champion afterwards, so having to forego the Light's Justice there, yep, needs to clip this Direwolf Alpha or things are quickly going to get out of hand. So like that he's being a little bit more aggressive with his cards. He just needs to get everything done as soon as he can to make sure this board doesn't snowball completely out of control. Bane of Doom gets picked up for Jab. That is a massive draw at this point in the game. This demon that gets summoned off of this could potentially end things.
Yeah, there are a lot of really big ones that can turn this entire game around very, very quickly. Not saying Jab's, you know, in a bad spot, but there are a couple of them that you can end the game on the spot.
Yeah, Bane of Doom, when it kills a minion, is going to summon that random demon. This is so crucial here. There are so many good ones. And let me tell you what, Illidan is an okay one. Every time you play a card, you get another 2-1 off of it. If Greensheep does not pick up something like a Consecrate in this next turn, he may find himself completely out of this game.
Yeah, and you're probably going to see Jab trade off all of his minions here. It's kind of surprising he doesn't. I guess he's not fearing a removal spell from Greensheep here, because if Greensheep can get into Illidan, he's going to be able to take it out with his Light's Justice.
Pretty much needs an equality here right off of this
champion,
right off of this draw. I mean, are you getting more value from Divine Favor than this? Don't think so. He's going to choose to maybe hold on to it. Now equality is not a very good draw. It probably isn't even in his deck, honestly, considering everything that we've seen so far. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 damage on Jab's side of the board, so not quite enough to finish it up. Doomguard would end the game. But he's down to 8. I mean, he does have to worry a little bit about this pressure unless you draw Doomguard. You know, speak of the devil, and there he is. Jab going to end up winning this game here. Go up to a 2-1 lead. Just not enough pressure from Greensheep early on. Not nearly as much as he wanted. And then that Bane of Doom getting that Illidan. Wow, what a massive swing in the game. That added up to 9 points of damage this turn.
Yeah, I mean, Bane of Doom can swing games very wildly in one way or the other. Sometimes you get a Blood Imp, sometimes you get an Illidan. So, like, it's one of those cards that when it's good, it is not beatable, and it was great that game for Jab.
Now, we talked about how Jab needed to be playing these mid-range strategies that have early disruptive tools, and this one is no exception to that. He had Void Walker in this game, had Haunted Creepers rolling on the board, even had Imp Gang Boss to make sure that Greensheep had to invest in actually killing his minions. That's not where he wants to be. He wants to be pushing the action and trying to end the game, but when he has to trade instead in fear of the massively favorable trades that Jab can get in that spot, that's the exact position that Jab is trying to put him in. And that's what he's done so far this match, and it's given him a 2-1 lead here.
Yeah, it's given him a 2-1 lead. You see him queue up great against what Greensheep did. And like we said, Greensheep's going to revert back to being really, really aggressive, and he picked a great deck to battle it there. It's a good one that he can get on the board early, disrupt what Greensheep's doing, use a little bit of card advantage from his life tap, use his life totals resource, and really get out ahead of Greensheep. And then you saw him get a little lucky with the Bane of Doom there, getting Illidan, and it closed out the game for him.
Yeah, likes to play those high-risk, high-reward strategies, and you can see that in his past. You know, kept that Divine Favor in his hand. You can head over to pvplive.net and check out exactly how Greensheep has played it in the past. His full competitive breakdown, his strategies he chooses, and more importantly, how he chooses to play them. You can do that for Jab and pretty much any other competitive player as well. Guys, when we come back, Jab now is on match point, up 2-1 here over Greensheep. Greensheep finds himself in a familiar position, needs 2 straight to win this series. Don't go anywhere, guys. You're watching Hearthstone on PvP Live.